Yeah, you're so convinced of how it's supposed to be. I know that you're confused.
Look at y'all. Y'all are getting bossy, giving me rules. I can't pick Jesus. Well, if I can't pick Jesus, then I would have to go with the Apostle Paul. I'm going through a 90-day character study on him right now with Beth Moore, and I've jokingly told the girls in my small group that I have a crush on him, which is about 90% true. But I'm just so amazed by his faith and his humility and his dedication to his cause. And I feel like he was relatable to so many different audiences, and he had so many gifts, yet he considered himself nothing in comparison to Christ. And so I would love to just pick his brain and hear his stories and understand what was going on in his heart when he's in jail after being beaten and he's ready to worship God. That is an unbelievable testimony for how genuine he was. And he also uses a lot of athletic analogies, so I'm pretty sure that while we were hanging out, we could probably go do something active, so that would be fun. But I'm just, honestly, of everyone in Scripture, he's probably the person that I am continuously blown away by his writings and his story and how God used him, knowing the background that he came from being the person who held the coats of the people while Stephen, one of the first missionaries, is martyred, and cheering them on to getting blinded on the road to Damascus, and Jesus saying, "Why are you persecuting me?" and him being forever changed after that and dedicating the rest of his life to the gospel. I want to be that passionate. I want to be that driven and that focused to where it doesn't matter where I've been. I just know where God has called me to be right now and living in the moment for God and not for myself. So I'd have to hang out with Paul. Just so there's no confusion, I still have a bigger crush on my husband than the Apostle Paul. I love you, James.
Tell me we should turn it down.
So here we are in Noah's nursery, and as you can tell, it's empty, but it is painted, so it's not like I haven't done anything. And I actually do have kind of a method to my madness. I know myself, and I can control myself when it comes to shopping for me, but when it comes to babies and people that I care about, I tend to go really overboard. So by not allowing myself to buy things too soon, I am controlling how much I can go overboard. But I can show you his bedding. So this is the pattern. This is what it looks like. It's actually Mindy Lawhorn's little boy Garrett's old bedding that he outgrew. So I'm sure Noah is already excited to be getting some hand-me-downs from G, his buddy. And we do have a theme for the nursery, which is brainwash Noah into being an athlete. So there will be footballs and basketballs and soccer balls and baseballs all over this place. So while I can't exactly show you the finished product right now, I can promise you it will be cute. It will be done in a reasonable amount of time before Noah is born. It will not have an arc, and I promise that I will post pictures when it's done.
Open up our eyes. We don't need your...
That's a broad question, and there are a lot of ways that I could answer it, but I think the best thing that applies across the board, no matter what your goal is accountability. And so I say that because whenever I set something that I want to do, whether it's to read the Bible through in a year, or I want to grow my business, or I want to achieve a fitness goal, or get a new certification, challenge myself in some new way, I'm more likely to make that goal come to fruition if I've got somebody who's holding me accountable, to make sure that I'm doing the small steps that I need to do to get towards my big goal. So if you don't have an accountability partner in all areas of your life, get one. Because I have several people in my life who speak truth into me, who know my goals, who know my heart, who know what I feel God is calling me to do in my life, and they're there when it gets tough, because anytime that you set a goal for yourself, there are going to be obstacles. If you decide that you want to get fit and healthy, there's going to be that temptation to eat something that you shouldn't, or there's going to be the temptation to stay home from the gym when it's cold outside. You're always going to have things that get in the way, and if you've got somebody that you can just send a real quick text message to and say, remind me of my goal and why I'm doing this, someone who knows you, who knows your heart, can send you just the right piece of encouragement. But it's gotta be someone that's gonna be willing to ask you tough questions, because you don't just want someone to hold you accountable who's gonna pat your back and tell you how wonderful you are. Because yes, while encouragement is a part of accountability, you also want someone who's willing to speak truth into your life, to tell you when you're wrong, when you're out of line, when your actions don't align with what you've said your goal is. So make it someone who knows you really, really well. So for example, my two accountability partners are my husband and my best friend. And I tell them everything. I tell them what God's doing in my life. I tell them the direction that He's taking me. If I'm praying about something, they know about it. And that is huge for me, to know that I have people that are a checks and balance in my life. So find someone that you trust, that's going to be willing to tell you the truth, even if it's not always pretty. And that's going to be the best way for you to accomplish the things that God is telling you to do in your life. I think that I heard Chalene Johnson say one time that she's not a chef, but she considers herself to be a concoctionist. And I really think that that's what I do as well. Because a lot of times when I make healthy recipes, I take a recipe that necessarily wasn't healthy to begin with, and by making some basic substitutions, just knowing general nutrition, I'm able to turn a favorite dish into something that's much better for me and better for my family. And you can do this by taking a dish that involves, ground beef, and making sure that it's extra lean ground beef or extra lean ground turkey, or taking basic pasta and changing it for whole wheat pasta, or regular rice and going to brown rice. But if I am looking just for a straightforward, healthy recipe, there are two main places that I go. The first place I go is to my club membership page of my Team Beachbody website, which the club membership is something additional that you have to pay for. It's $39.95 a quarter, but that gets me a customized meal plan. So I can customize it by foods that I like to eat, by my goals, by my weight. And so all of the work is essentially done for me, so I don't have to go searching for recipes. It automatically recommends things that are good for me and in line with my goal and in line with my taste buds. So that's the first place that I go, because I like to save time. But if I have a little bit more time, or I want to be creative, or I'm in the mood for something new, I go to eatcleandiet.com, which is a great website that has all recipes that are clean eating, which means you're focusing on whole foods, nothing processed. So everything in there is natural and good for you. So those are the two main places that I go if I'm not in the kitchen concocting something of my own.